Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining today. Just going live on Facebook right now. Let me check my Facebook. Bear with me for a second. And just check in here. All right. We are live. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. Happy Friday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone's had a great morning, start of the afternoon, high noon. So, today, because it's the beginning of December and we're coming up on the end of this crazy year of 2020, I want to talk about change. Of course, we hope things change for the better. Of things outside of our control. There's a lot of things going on in the world, in coronavirus and everything else that's out of our control, good and bad. There's some good things happening too in people's lives. But change. Think about change. This is the time to do it. We know what happens at the beginning of the year. New Year's resolutions. Who waits till January 2nd, 3rd, 4th to start their New Year's resolution type things that for their health or their relationships or their business? So it's change. So today I'm going to give you a few things to think about now, because now is the time to think about it, because you might not want to do those changes right now, because we always start like the diet starts every Monday or after my vacation or after this, after that. There's lots of that going on. So now is the time to think about it, of when you're going to make those changes, why you're going to make those changes. There's 5 things before I jump into that. 5 things that you have to do before you consistent or commit to change. So if you want to write these down, number 1, you have to know what. What do you want to change? What do you want to change? And I'm going to stick with the business side of things. What do you want to change in your business? And it has to be more specific than I just want to make more money. I just want to sell more houses. What do you want to change? And then write it down. I want to change how much I'm prospecting. I want to change how I work with buyers. I want to get better with my listing presentations. I want to get better with my negotiating skills, because you felt like I get this a lot, and I'm going into business specifics, is that I get at least 1 or 2 or 3 calls, sometimes more a day, of agents asking for ideas on how to win multiple offers, because they keep on losing multiple offers. And why are they losing them? So that's a change, how to get better at something specific. So you could start off general, but there's going to have things that you're going to have to do specifically. So number 1 again is the what. Number 2, why do you want to change these things? And of course, usually the why people want to make a change is because they want to stop something like pain. There's something that they don't like, that's painful, or things that are not happening. So you want to change to stop the pain. That's what people do. It's just, why do you want change? Because you want to get better. No one's saying I want to change for the worst. There's always change, usually for the better. I mean, this is, again, changes happen outside of our control, but sometimes you have to evaluate things and change to stop the things that are changing that is out of your control. If you follow my logic there, especially that happens in business. Sometimes you lose a couple transactions. All of a sudden you think you have 3 or 4 buyers and you can't find houses for them. They decide not to buy. You have sellers that all of a sudden things happen in their life. So you're depending on certain business and it doesn't happen. So you got to change your mindset. You got to change your focus to get more business. So again, what is number 1? 2 is why you want to change that, and 3 is you have to start your new behaviors, new rituals, new habits to make those changes. You're just not going to stay the same. You're not going to have any type of change personally, professionally, relationship wise, unless you change and do something different. And you have to sit back and take time to make sure that those things that you're doing are positive influences and will move you in the right direction, because sometimes people change quickly. They do things the wrong way, and don't accomplish anything. They hurt themselves. Example, I compare it to if someone wants to be more healthy. There's people out there, might be you, if not, they don't do enough research and then find out the healthy foods that they're eating, and they change their whole diet, is they're gaining weight and they're not as healthy because they're really not as healthy. Or they're doing exercise, or like doing different types of exercise. Of course, all exercise, or majority of them, is good, but now that I'm in my 50s, there's certain exercises that hurt me more than help me on that. So anybody that's getting older, you kind of see those things. So the point I'm making is that you're going to have new rituals, new habits, but make sure and do the research, and make sure that they are going to be helpful to you. So in business, make sure the leads that you're calling, the time that you're spending prospecting, the people, your sphere of influence that you're calling, make sure those are going to result in the things that you want it to accomplish. So, and the difference between, I use the term ritual and habit. Ritual, to me, like a daily ritual, is things that you're consciously doing certain things. Habits, just kind of things that just your habits. A habit is after you do a ritual so many times that it just becomes habit. When you ever, you're the type of person that you just, without your alarm going off, you wake up at a certain time. It's just such a habit. You wake up at a certain time. You don't even need an alarm clock. Or your body just gets hungry at a certain time. You're like, wow, I missed lunch. I'm hungry. I wasn't even paying attention. Or you get tired at a certain time of day. I'm that one person that says, all of a sudden I get tired, I look at the clock. Oh yeah, that's time for me to go to sleep. And I'm the type of person that wakes up no matter if I want to a certain time of day, because it's just your body gets in that. So you kind of want to do that. So rituals and habits, you got to figure out what you want to do. So when you figure out that what, when you figure out that why, like that desire of why you want to change, you got to get the habits and the rituals to go alongside of that. Next, you have to, and what we all hate to do, and I think this is where people fall off the wagon, so to say, with all of their New Year's resolutions or their change, is you have to track your progress like a scale. Like, we hate getting on the scale. Sorry, I keep on going back to the weight loss and health part of things, because I've been through it myself. As sometimes we hate to track, we hate to write it down daily, like a journal of what we're accomplishing, because we don't want to see it. We use the excuse, don't have time to, don't want to, or I'll remember it, or I'm doing the right things, so it's gotta help. So why track it? You have to track. You have to write it down. You got to see. And track doesn't always have to mean your results. You wanted to get that, but your progress, like you write down, like a journal, you write down, I made 10 phone calls today, I made 1 appointment, I made this. So what's my daily journal of tracking what I'm doing every day? Not just I sold a house. I want to know how many calls what did I do. Time tracking is awesome. I love time tracking of what you're doing for certain parts of the day. I know things come in and you have to problem solve, and things come in, but tracking is very, very important. And the reason why we don't do it, because we don't want to see it. We know we're slacking off. That's the number one reason I think people don't do that. And last today of this whole list of this change of the what, the why, the behavior changing, the rituals and habits, and also the tracking. The last thing is very important. I've said this in other videos, is you have to congratulate or celebrate your accomplishments of the first 4 things. When you're doing it, you got to do something to congratulate yourself, because some of your goals, some of your change is not going to it's going to happen over time throughout the whole year. 2021, you're like, I want to make a certain amount of money, I want to have a certain number of closings. You're not going to get that by the end of January. So you have to celebrate your successes. So there's stages. Like you don't sell, you want to sell 35 houses next year or more, 50 houses. You're not going to sell them all in January. So if you sell 3 houses or 4 houses, go with an average. I say you're going to do an average. Definitely have a little leeway in there for weather and stuff over the winter time. We sell more houses in the spring and the summertime usually, and early fall. But this year's a little bit different, especially with a lot of snow out there. It usually slows people down, especially if they're vacant homes that there's 2 feet of snow and you can't get in the houses. There's different things and weather related things that happen out there. But celebrate that you did at least the things that you're supposed to do, that you set aside, that you did them completely. And the one thing in business, I always can, because you're your own boss, is that if there was a board of directors for your business, your real estate business, would they be happy with your performance? Because you're your own boss, and you could fool yourself as many times as you want. My honest opinion, anybody that's not at the level they want to be has been fooling themselves somewhere, is either not doing the work, or you might be completely honest with yourself. Great, saying I'm totally slacking off and not doing the things that I want to do. But a lot of people are. I talk to dozens and dozens of agents every week, coaching them, and I know, and I call some of them out of them. Some of them a little bit nicer and not call them out of it. Some flat out, the first thing they say, Tony, I know I slacked off this week. Yes, I know that happens. So be honest with yourself. Remember, think of yourself as a business. You're the boss. You're the CEO. You're the CFO. You're the COO of your business. But again, picture there's a board of directors overseeing you, and would they be happy with your performance every day? And that's what I think. Being owning my own business, that's kind of what I think at the end of the day would, with my performance too. So that's it. Remember those 5 things: the what, the why, the behavior change, the tracking, and the congratulate and celebrate. Those 5 things are very important to change. Start thinking now in December. Don't wait till January to then figure out what you're going to do. Then that will bring you into February, and then next thing you know, you're not organized and for the rest of the year. We just get it done now. This is the time to plan. This is the time to plan those changes, even if you're not going to make the changes this week or next week. Like I'm waiting for January, which I say you do everything now, don't wait, but at least start planning on those changes soon. So that's it for today. I have a great Friday, a great weekend. Remember, use me as a resource. If you want to talk about some change, give me a call, text, email me anytime. So that's it. We'll see you noon on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.